Hey everyone, this is Mel from Crazy Desert Knitting. Thank you guys so much for joining me today in my 14th episode of Crazy Desert Knitting. Another new year, another set of new knits. Awesome. Okay, so a couple of housekeeping things to get out of the way. For all of you guys who are new viewers, guys, welcome to the Crazy Desert Knitting family. I'm so glad you guys are here to join me. I hope you guys enjoy. For everybody who is a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back and seeing me again. You will notice that the wall behind me is a different color. At one point in time, it's the same room. However, it's a different spot in the room. I found that in front of the doors, the white doors, I was kind of blending in with them. So I moved myself over a little bit and the wall is taupey colored. I don't know what I think. Don't know. Leave a comment if you guys have an opinion. I may be moving to the back wall, which is more of a rust red color. I'm not sure that's going to be all that helpful though. We'll see. Okay, so that's done. So I welcomed everybody. So I actually did write out show notes today. So I'm actually going to try to follow them, kind of, sort of. So awesome. Just to let you guys know, this will be an edited version of my podcast. Because I got my computer fixed finally. Okay, so if you guys will notice, last episode 13, was actually filmed a couple of days before Christmas, but it was put up a couple of days after New Year's. And that is because I wound up taking my computer in and it didn't come back as fast as I thought it was going to because I couldn't make a decision on what to do. So it is back, it is fixed, it is up. This will be an edited version of the podcast, so woohoo to that. Just so everybody can know, you can find me at Newberg M87 on Ravelry. If you guys would like me to repeat that, guess what? It's in the show notes, which are all down there in the description box below. Check it out. Okay. Sorry guys if I brandish this a lot today. What am I wearing today? Because somebody's going to ask, and I'm going to actually tell you, I don't actually know what it's called. So I'll take it off, maybe, if I can. Ugh. The funny thing is, it's not one piece. I apparently can't get it apart. This is actually like a mini, I don't know if it's called a shawlette or a shawl. I have no idea what this is called. You guys can tell. It was actually gifted to me by Alaska, and I know she knows who I'm talking about because I know she watches this. But it was gifted to me like a year before I started this, actually. I don't have a clue what the pattern is called. I don't have a clue what the colors are called either or what it's knit out of. So, but it's gorgeous. I mean, just that taupey, bluey color. I mean, it actually kind of blends in with the wall color, but it's beautiful. And you guys can't feel it, but if you guys have Feel TV, that would be awesome right now. It's really nice and soft. So, Alaska, if you're out there and you're willing to tell us what its pattern's called and what it's knit out of, leave it in the description or in the comment box below. I don't know what it's called. But it's actually one of my favorites because it's a little bit smaller. And it's not quite as insanely heavy as some other things are that I know about. I don't actually like my ends tucked out, so I tuck my ends in all the time. I'm very strange like that. Okay, so now that I have this on, let's go ahead and move on to whips. As some of you guys know, and if you are a first-time viewer, you don't know, I'm a fairly monogamous knitter. In my past episodes, you would have seen last year the fact that I was working on a couple of things at one time. One was a Building with Lace shawl by Michelle Hunter. I think that's the name of it. That I wound up finishing right before Christmas, and I actually gifted it away because I was missing a Christmas gift for somebody. And then something else. Well, I don't really do that. I'm a fairly straightforward, one thing at a time kind of a person, knitter especially. So I am, just working on one. This is going to be kind of hard to show you guys because unfortunately it's knit in the round and I'm at that stage of it that it's getting a little bit too big. But this is Queen Anne Lace's shawl. It was originally, isn't that beautiful? I'm just going to show you guys the holes. And obviously this is not blocked and I won't see the true beauty of it until it is blocked. And that's the very center of it. This was actually originally published in a gentleman's knitting magazine. It is now a free pattern on Ravelry. So, and it is beautiful. So each, like you guys can see the lifelines in here are these like really brightly colored, like right there, brightly colored yarn that I've got sitting in here. Each lifeline right now depicts a new section and a new chart. There's like 5 charts, I think. I'm currently in, let's see, 1, 2, 3. I'm in the 4th chart. Maybe there's 6 charts because I think there's like 2 left. 6 charts with the edging. I am at about row 120 out of row 160, I believe. And it's turning out beautiful. I can't really see I mean, I know it's going to turn out beautiful. However, the true potential of it cannot be seen in its current state. This is being knit out of Cascade Heritage Silk. And I picked something, instead of a shawl, it's not really going to be a shawl. It's actually a christening blanket that I'm making for a family member of mine. And I needed something that was going to be 100% washable. And this has cotton, superwash wool, and some silk in it. And it's machine washable, it's dryable. So in case the baby throws up on it, we won't care. I was told by many, many people that if you don't pick something that is washable, the new parent is going to hate you. So that was always my thing too. So that is my brand new cast on. Okay, hopefully this will be done in the next few days. I'm actually going to be participating in a snowed in virtual knit-a-thon coming up this weekend, and it looks like a whole bunch of fun. So I'm hoping that either this will be finished by then or I will finish it this weekend. So it's like a weekend long thing. So that's going to be a lot of fun. A friend's going to come over. She's going to crochet a little bit while I knit. We're going to try out some pie iron, recipes that we've got for the fire and things like that. So it's going to be a good time for me, at least one night of the week. I might also take a sock class that week or that weekend. I don't know yet. We'll see. All right, putting that off to the side. Sorry about that. All right, so I also have one finished whip at the moment, or one finished object. You guys would have seen me knit this as my only outstanding whip my last episode, and they were my Evergreen Socks by Madeline Gannon. So there are 2. And again, apparently I almost picked the exact same color as the wall. Sorry about that. Maybe this wall color was not a great choice, especially for today. But these are the Evergreen Socks, and I do apologize, guys. I've worn these a couple of times, and I haven't blocked them yet. So there is the pattern on the Evergreen Socks. This pattern is by Madeline Gannon. You can find it on Ravelry. It was a spectacularly written pattern. I really enjoyed it. The pattern was written well. The lace chart was written well. Mine are a little funky looking because, again, I wore them without blocking them. So they do need to be blocked at this point in time. Definitely need to be blocked. I finished them like Christmas Eve. And I wore them like the next day. So I was like, they're my Christmas socks. I'm gonna wear these. These are knit out of Huasco Heather, which is a fingering sock weight yarn in the Valparaiso colorway. I actually really love this colorway, and there's like 425 yards on it. Not sure what meterage that translates into for anybody, but stick it into Ravelry and it'll tell you. So, but this is the Madeline Gannon's Evergreen sock, and I really liked these. These are actually the best fitting socks that I've come across, that I've made. The only thing I would like to work on, there's a little bit of funkiness going on in the gusset decrease. Yeah, the gusset decrease. I was like, I can't see anything right there and right there. So that is something that, obviously some people tell me that as you do more socks, you get a little bit more used to it, but we shall see. But that is my finished object. Okay. You guys hear snoring? JD's laying on the bed over here, snoring his eyes out. He's had a busy few days. We just took down Christmas the last couple of days and he is really tired. So, okay, that brings me to next up on my list. And the next thing I'm going to be knitting, again, hopefully, since I'm hoping for the Queen Anne's lace shawl to be completed, if not finished this upcoming weekend during the knit-a-thon that I am participating in, I actually have gotten ready something that I bought the yarn for about, it is actually going on 3 months ago now. In October, I bought this yarn. So I showed you the yarn before, but this is Juniper Moon Farm Zooey DK. You can see that. Woohoo! It is color number 6, Cell Gris. I don't know what that stands for. I'm sorry, guys, but that's just what the label reads. Cell Gris, number 6, colorway. Other than that, I have no idea. It is like, it's a gray blue color. I don't know if the gray blue, I don't know if the blue is showing up as much as it is like straight up gray, but it's got a more bluish tint to it. It is a DK weight yarn. And it's their soft cotton linen blend. So it's 60% cotton, 40% linen. And I am going to be knitting, I'm going to get the exact name out of this for you, Forest Weave. It is a really great pattern by, if I mispronounce your name, I am so sorry in advance. Yumiko Alexander. I'm going to put it down here on the screen somewhere. Yumiko Alexander. She recently came and did a trunk show at Isabel's Parlor, my local knitting store, my local yarn store, crochet store too. She crochets there too. And I unfortunately wasn't able to go. I was sick. I'm still kind of getting over it, so sorry everybody. But I've seen it done and it is gorgeous. So I was hoping to make it out of this. So this is going to be my next project. I have 4 skeins of this, and yardage wise, according to the pattern, it says I should have plenty. So we will see. And if not, I can always go get another skein. She does have one set aside in case I need it. We'll see. So that is what is next up on my list of things to knit. But at the same time, it is actually going to be living in my one and only stash enhancement for the holiday season. So I actually did not go out and do a whole lot of holiday knit buying. However, my mom, who is a big sewer, which thank God my mom's a sewer because I would be out of a lot of bags if I wasn't. So my mom actually created these really great project bags. And this is mine. And up at the top here, there's a zipper. And it's actually a clear vinyl on the inside. And it's actually a really nice, it's a kind of a larger project bag. And so far I'm really liking it. She actually, the original one she wrapped up for me for Christmas, she wound up actually taking back and replacing with one I liked even more. She knows I'm not really a flower person, but she wanted me to have something to open on Christmas. So she's like, well, can I exchange it for one that has frogs on it? Because mine's got frogs on it. So I let her obviously exchange it because I really like the frogs, so I was cool with it since I'm not really a flower person and that bag was flowered. So this is my next up knitting project. Again, hopefully I'm going to be starting that come this weekend. Hopefully I'm casting it on. I have not swatched, so I do need to swatch and blot the swatch before I do anything. I've learned, I know the pattern is supposed to have something like 10 inches of negative ease, I think it said. Don't quote me on that. I have to go back and reread the pattern. I don't think I'm going to be using quite that much negative ease, just to let you guys know. But we'll see. Yeah, I'm not quite a person that can get away with that much negative ease. We'll see. So I do have one more enhancement. Now, I wouldn't call this really an enhancement. This is more of a Melissa really liked it, so she stole it. And yes, I did say steal. So this is my brand new little alpaca. And yes, he does have a little blanket on his back. I'll turn him sideways so you guys can see his blanket. I was at a friend of mine, and my friend crochets these really great, awesome, cool, I'm actually going to move my hand out of the way, animals and little, things that stand up. So she made this alpaca, and she was showing me this really cute, like, cactus that she created. It was prickly pear cactus, if anybody was interested. But it was stinking adorable. Well, little alpaca here, she didn't realize that when she went to take the little owl that she was in the process of making and the little cactus back to where she keeps them, little alpaca here decided to make a nice little getaway into my bag and came home with me. And so I got home and I put him on the counter and I took a picture and I sent it to her and I was like, haha, your alpaca found a new home. And so she made a deal with me that if I knit her something, I can keep the alpaca. So I'm going to wind up knitting her something so that I can keep the alpaca because I really like the alpaca. So it's my little baby alpaca. I think I'm going to name him Packy just because I can. So, and Packy's probably going to sit over here off to the side from now on just to keep me company when I podcast for you guys. All right, so since Alpaca over here, Packy over here is going to be sitting keeping me company. For those of you guys who don't know, I like to keep my episodes around 30 minutes or so you guys can watch more of them if you guys would like. That, and I don't really have a whole lot of content this week, knitting-wise. Most of my time was spent on my Queen Anne lace shawl that is turning into a christening blanket. But I did say last episode that for the new year, I'd like to create or strive for some new goals, and I was actually going to share those with you guys. So since we're getting on there in about the 20-minute mark or so, I did write down in my lovely little sloth journal here, and I don't actually use it as a journal. I just use it as paper. I thought the sloths were really cute. I did write down some knitting goals that I hope to achieve this year, and hopefully next year, at the end of the year, I might be actually go over some of these and make sure I actually achieved them or not. I'm not somebody that makes resolutions because I don't necessarily always want to meet a resolution, but I always like to meet some knitting goals. I like to try to make, achieve some goals throughout the year. So these are a few of those goals. So I'm just actually going to read them out of my book to you guys. I would like to knit 4 garments this year. I would like one of those garments to have cable in it, and I would like, maybe not the whole garment, maybe I'm not going to go cable crazy, but I haven't done cables in a really long time, so I would like cables in a garment. And I would like the second garment or another garment to have a little bit of lace in it. I'm not sure I count the forest weave that I'm going to start as lace, but I'm not sure I wouldn't count it as lace. So who knows? I actually think there's also cables in there. I think it's cabled lace. So I don't know. I might just count that as one garment and maybe not make sure it meets the other 2 pieces. I would also like to cast on all new yarn I buy during the year within 3 months of purchase. I'm trying to get to the point where I only buy based on a project. So I have to have a project in mind, ready to go, waiting to go before I start. So that's part of the reason why you guys see that yarn in my next up on my needles thing I was talking about. It's already in a bag. It actually has the pattern with it, but I didn't show you guys the pattern. So I want to actually be able to bag up and, make project kits out of everything that I purchase from now on. So, it kind of goes in with my next goal of use a minimum of 25% of my stash. Now, I do not have a stash like a lot of people have a stash. I have a stash that, if you guys know like one of those shoe boxes, like those shoe holders that slides underneath your bed, that's what stores all my yarn, like all of it. So I don't really have tons and tons and tons of it like a lot of people do. Like I don't just carry a couple of years worth of, it exceeds my life expectancy. No, mine does not exceed my life expectancy. Now, 25% can also be stuff that I kind of look at and go, you know what? I don't really want it anymore. I I do inherit things from other people that have wound up in my stash at some point in time. Some of it I like more than I like other stuff, so maybe I should get rid of some of it too. I don't know. But it kind of goes through working through about 25% of my stash. So those, you know, the knit everything I buy within 3 months and the get rid of 25% of my stash kind of go hand in hand. I would also like to knit one Stephen West pattern. I don't know why. I've looked at them. I think many of them are stunning and crazy and weird. And let's be honest, I named this podcast Crazy Desert Knitting, so I might as well knit something that's a little crazy and weird. So that's kind of what I always thought. I want to knit one pair of socks. Who knows if and when it's going to happen, and if and when that pair of socks is going to be any good. But I made one really successful pair of socks so far and one slightly successful pair of socks so far. I have no idea about the spider socks. I don't know if they were successful or not. I've never worn them. I've just blocked them and sent them to somebody. So we'll see. I want to knit something that's out of my color comfort zone. Now, you guys can be like, okay, well, what does that mean? You guys can tell based on the things that I surround myself with and I'm typically knitting with. I don't knit with a lot of bright, vibrant colors typically. The craziest color I think I've knit with in a long time is the orange spider socks. And that was well over a year ago. Or that was about a year ago. Maybe a year ago, give or take some. I have a tendency to stick to more neutrals or muted colors, I guess I would call it. I like blue. I enjoy rustic colors like the reds and oranges and greens and that kind of stuff. But I want to get something that's outside my color comfort zone. That might kind of be combined with my knit one Stephen West pattern, because I've seen some really crazy color combinations with those, and I've seen some crazy colors with some muted colors. So maybe that is what I'm going to do with that one. But I would like to knit something outside of my color comfort zone. I would also like to knit 5 charity items. This year I made a goal of 15 charity items, and I need to kind of slow that down just a little bit, I think, just for my own sake. There's some things that I would really love to knit, and who knows, they might go for charity anyways by the time I get done. But I don't know yet. We'll see. I would like to try a new technique. I don't know if that's going to be double knitting. I don't know if that's going to be brioche. I don't know if that's going to be, you know, a new heel technique for a sock or a new cast on technique or what, but just a new technique of some kind. And I would also like to record a minimum of 1 podcast per month. I know that sounds really weird. Most can do 1 podcast per week. However, there would be no knitting content for you guys because I'm a very monogamous knitter. You know, and sometimes I have more knitting time than I do others. So there's that, you know, so those are my knitting goals. I also have created a few personal goals along the way as well. You know, I always like to continue my education in some way, shape, or form. It's gonna sound really weird, but recently we had the floors redone in the house. And in the process, we had to pack up like whatever rooms had to have the floors redone. Everything that had carpet now has tile in it. And basically it was all the bedrooms. And so we had to pack up everything, and I was putting things back and I realized I have a lot of books. I have so many books, I will probably never read them all a second, if not third time. And with the way that technology is going these days, do I really need to hold on to the paper copies of the books? And the ones I did hold on to, why was I holding on to them? So I found out that I pulled out 31 books that I considered reading at least a second time. So I've decided I'm going to read those books and then either donate them to Goodwill or a reading program or something like that. So I am actually 1 book down. I doubt that I will get through all 31 books this year, but I would like to make a good sizable dent. Let's put it that way. Good sizable dent. You know, I want to try to get out of my comfort zone again, not just in my knitting life, but also in my personal life. Part of that could be, you know, visiting another one is to visit 3 new places and do 3 new things. I don't know what that's going to be, but those are just a few of like the personal ones that I would love to accomplish. Probably the biggest one I want to accomplish is actually send all birthday cards and gifts on time this year. That sounds really weird and crazy and difficult or easy to achieve, but things kind of creep up on me. I'm really bad about keeping track of dates. So, I say I'm going to podcast every 3rd week. Who knows? So I said once a month. I got to keep it a little bit at least achievable for myself. But yeah, so those are kind of the things that I would like to achieve this upcoming year, to see what I can do and to see what the new year brings. So those are some of my goals. I would like to invite you guys to go ahead and leave me a comment attached to this video if you guys have any goals that you would like to achieve knitting wise this year. And I might actually, talk about some of them the next time we talk. Hopefully I will show you guys the Queen Anne lace shawl. It might have to be blocked in like a small separate video filmed and then edited into the podcast, because it might need to be in the mail by then. Because I'm late. The child has been born. Whoops. So we'll see. But please actually tell me some of your knitting goals. I would love to hear them, to see if you guys even achieve them. So, it's always good to inspire each other as we go along. All right, so those are all my goals. Again, please share me by a comment on this video with some of your goals. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. It appears that I have kept my podcast to about 30 minutes, maybe a little less by the time I edit this out, so woohoo. If you guys enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you guys would like to see more, go ahead and subscribe if it's down there or over there or over there. I have no idea where the subscribe button is anymore, but subscribe, because that'd be awesome. So any questions or comments or anything like that, please let me know. Look me up on Ravelry. I would love to see you guys. And in the meantime, everyone, just keep knitting. Thanks a lot. Bye.